Today we're venturing into the universe of Helldivers 2, a game that's redefining the PvE landscape and hinting at untapped PvP potential. From success into struggles, how Sony caused the success of Helldivers 2 to be marred by the struggle of the community against Sony's PSN network.
May the light of liberty walk grace the skies of this world once more.
Since its release, Helldivers has been a massive hit. The game managed to sell millions of copies in less than a week. We all know that multiplayer games can be quite ruthless, even PvE titles like this one. But Arrowhead's game seems to have avoided this fate. Rather than leaving players to fight against one another, a strong sense of camaraderie has been developed in-game as recruits march together to the same goals. This emphasis on PvE has cultivated a rich strategic gameplay environment. Helldivers 2, a PvE game in which players fight alongside one another to curb the termite and automatron hordes, as opposed to shooting each other. Although that does happen sometimes. This is the original theme of Helldivers 2, which has always been a PvE focused shooter. With the game becoming so popular, it's important to add that it is one of those PvE games that isn't punishing for newcomers, who might not have the skills or weapons of higher ranking players. This is only possible if the rules of engagement are applied. All that is needed is a team player and recognise that one person's victory is everybody's victory. If a player doesn't abide by the unspoken rules, it may be annoying, but it doesn't always strip away all the fun, as the game is at its best when there's mayhem. Helldivers 2 isn't just innovating with its gameplay mechanics and human expendatory nature, it's also immersing players in a dynamically evolving battlefield. With each mission influenced by the actions of a real-time dungeon master, the game keeps players on their toes, ensuring no two missions are ever exactly the same. How do these innovations enhance the PvE experience, and what could they mean for the future of immersive gaming? Helldivers' immersive experience begins with a deceptive trailer, leading to a thrilling training session and an immense missions against the aliens in space. The game features strategic gameplay with diverse weapons and tools, putting a strong emphasis on teamwork and resource management. No two players will have the same experience in this game, but rather each gamer has a unique perception of the events that unfold before their eyes. This aspect also helps foster collaboration and cooperation within the game itself. Despite its acclaim, Helldivers 2 navigates through the nebula of challenges, from server stability to the dilemma of AFK players. How are these issues being addressed to maintain the integrity of the PvE experience? And what lessons can be learned as the game continues to evolve? This segment delves into the community's response and development's actions to keep the galaxy at war. The initial server issues were the first to be addressed by developers. The service has been rocked by a massive influx of new players that resulted in various connection errors, bugs, crashes, and players being logged out. However, developers at Arrowhead worked tirelessly in order to bump up server capacity. Now, the server can handle a staggering 800,000 concurrent players. They have also introduced a queue system and an auto kick AF players system as well, in order to relieve some of this pressure. With the multiplayer and server problems under control, developers are now shifting their focus on improvements, and have teased players with more exciting things in the very near future. While Helldivers 2 has firmly planted its flag in the PvE domain, whispers of potential PvP horizons have sparked curiosity. Could we see the game expand into player versus player territory? Let's explore the hints and what PvP elements could mean for the future, offering a new battleground for the war-torn universe of Helldivers 2. While fans have been clamouring for a PvP mode, the game was always developed with PvE in mind. Its whole gameplay loop is centred around players working together to liberate planets on a global map. It's a massive cooperation experience, which, in a way, almost makes it feel wholesome. Apart from, blowing everyone up, limbs flying everywhere, the chaos, the mayhem. However, devs have hinted at an original plan that they had for the game, and a plan they are only now able to return to after fixing the servers. They have mentioned that there are many more exciting things in the pipeline, So maybe a PvP mode is one of them. Who knows? Many players are actually hoping for this though. As Helldivers 2 continues to carve its path through the cosmos, what's next on the horizon? It has been confirmed that there is Helldivers 2 roadmap in the works. However, we are not sure when it will be announced to the public. Following the unexpected success of the game, Arrowhead CEO John Pilstead confirmed that the studio's original roadmap has been thrown out in favour of the new one. As many players know, June and July are usually the months when the games industry makes announcements, and so many are inclined to believe that Arrowhead will showcase their new roadmap then as well. What we can all expect, however, is new tools, challenges, and hopefully new threats from around the galaxy. However, as exciting as the new roadmap might seem, Helldivers 2 is not without its troubles. Most recently, publisher Sony announced that Steam players will soon be required to link their Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account if they want to continue playing the game. Whilst this linking requirement was optional on launch, Sony has confirmed that this was only temporary and that they had always planned for this requirement to be enforced for the Steam players. Sony said linking accounts is a key part of protecting its community from griefing and abuse, as it enables players to be banned if they engage in such behaviour. But this news did not go down well with many Steam players, and Helldivers 2 has been receiving an ever influx of negative comments and reviews on the PC storefront. In just one day, players had posted over 2,400 negative reviews.
Not today!
Alongside that, the game on Steam did manage to reach an all-time low of around 15%, which is overwhelmingly negative. And it doesn't stop there, meaning players have asked for refunds in protest for the upcoming change. The reason why there is such a strong reaction to something a non-gamer might deem a small issue is the fact that PSN is not available in 177 countries, meaning that depending on where a player lives, they might not be able to play Helldivers 2 once this requirement becomes mandatory. In fact, the game has been delisted from Steam in those 177 countries already. But all's well that ends well, right? Sony eventually reversed the PSN login requirement and has started putting Helldivers 2 back on sale in the countries where it was delisted. This rollout is, however, slower than anticipated, with only America Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands getting the game back on Steam so far. It's not clear why these other countries specifically have had the restrictions removed, but it is a step in the right direction and hopefully a sign of more to come. Helldivers 2 feels like it's in a strange spot right now. With the PSN controversy, while this may have only been putting players off the game, there are also many who are still willing to praise it. And indeed, it is difficult to ignore its massive success. The game sold over 12 million copies in just the first 3 months. However, this comes to show that no matter how much of a dedicated fanbase a game has, publishers and devs should always pay attention to the players and respect their wishes. Forcing a player to do something is never going to turn out well, no matter how great the game is. But what do you think of this situation? Do you believe that PC players should be required to create PSN profiles or even a Microsoft profile in order to access Sony's or Xbox's IPs? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, and we'll address them in future videos. And remember, as always, to like, subscribe and activate notifications for more gaming intel. Until our next adventure, keep your boots on your ground and your eyes on the stars.